Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we will be starting the Java tutorial and I'll be starting from very basic to advanced level, okay? So stay tuned. So first of all, I'll tell you like in order to understand Java or in order to code in Java, you have to install BlueJ, okay? So you can Google out for BlueJ. The first link which you get in Google, that's for the BlueJ official one, and you can download it from there directly. It's not chargeable, it's a free source edit. Okay, so I have already downloaded BlueJ. Now if you want to work in Java, like how to write codes in Java, so if you see, this is the whole structure how BlueJ looks like. You have projects over here wherein you can create new project, open project, recent project. Okay, you can also open your the zip files which you want. Okay, and you can also import the files right directly over here. Okay, in the edit section you can create new class, new package, CSS file, okay, classroom file, these you can do. And in the tool section, it's all related to the compiling, rebuilding a package and testing it. Okay, and here it's the debugger and the terminal. Okay, now I'll start with very basic. Now if you see, I have two blocks over here, that is simple and add, which I have created. So those were my file wherein I have just created some codes. Okay, so I'll show you how to create codes. First of all, how to write, how to start it, okay, in Java. So first of all, you have to click on new class. Okay, if you see on the left hand side of the screen, new class is there. So you have to create a new class. So what do you mean by class? Wherein you can give the name, okay, to the class. For example, uh, suppose if I show you this one. Okay, if I show you this one, so here I have just created a class which is named as simple. Okay, so there is a class which is named as simple, and then inside it I have just written the codex, right? So similarly you can also create your own class. First of all, so first of all I'll click on new class. Okay, and let's say I write the name of the class as new. Okay, this is the name of my class. Okay, now inside this you have to write your code. So there will be a block which will be created in your BlueJ. You have to just double click on it. Okay, and the editor will open up in front of you. Okay, now what you have to do, just press control A and remove everything whatever is there inside it. Okay, and start typing your own code. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So here I have a class as my first. Okay, my first is the class name, so you have to start it with first of all the class name, whatever class you have given. Okay, so if you see this particular code, it's over here it's written class simple. Okay, so you have to just start with my first, that's the name of the class which I have created right over here. Okay, now public static void main. What do you mean by public static void main? Public static void main means it will actually help you when you write this. This is mandatory when you want an output in your program. Okay, so you have to write public static void main, that is input and output, both things would be there in your Java code. Okay, and string arts, that means you're working with string data types over here. Okay, so first you have to start your Java code with class, define the class, and inside that public static void main string args, and then open the brackets, and inside this you can mention your code in which you want your output. Okay, so I'm just writing a simple one which is system.out.println. Okay, so in many of your codes you'll see like we just write print and then whatever variable, suppose a is my variable, I'll print the value, so we just use print. Okay, but in Java you have to write for printing purpose system.out.println. Okay, that is system.out.println, and then whatever you have to print, suppose I want to print the string that is hello Java, so you have to put it inside the inverted codes when you want to print a string. Okay, and then a semicolon and then the brackets over here. Now this particular code is done. So what you have to do, first of all you have to click on compile. If you see over here, there is an option compile. Okay, what compile will do, compile will check out for errors in your code. If there is any error, it will tell you like this line has an error, fix that, and then you can go ahead and check the output. So first of all I'll click on compile. Now look at the bottom, it says class compile no syntax error. That means your class which you have named, that is my first, this has been compiled. That means these the code which you have entered, that is compiled. Now there is no error. Okay, now how to see the output? So for seeing the output, what you have to do, you have to just, my first is the class which you have created, right? So what you have to do, put a right click on it and then go for the void main string args. That means void main, which I have said public static void main, if you write, then only you'll get the output, otherwise you won't get the output. That is why right click on the class and then go for the void main. When you click on it, now here it's selected the first main. Now click on OK. Now if you see, hello Java is the output. Okay, this is how you can see the output. Now here, suppose let's open this up and let's take another example. Okay, so let's say we want to add few numbers. Okay, so for adding few numbers, we have to first of all initialize those number in a variable as we do in other programming language, and we have to also give a data type to it. So in Java, how you would write that? First of all, you have to mention the data type. So suppose the data type is int, that is integer. Okay, and then suppose I take a variable as a and I'll give a value as 20, and it should end with a semicolon. Okay, I want to take another variable, so I'll just take integer and then b, and then I'll give a value as 30. Okay, now I want to print the sum of these two numbers. Okay, so you want to print it, right? So what we can do, we can just write system.out.println. Okay, and inside that you can directly write a plus b. Okay, and then a semicolon. Fine. So what it's actually doing, it's defining a class. So I am just using the same class which was there earlier. Okay, same class, I'm just editing the code. You can create a different class as well, the same way which I told you in the beginning of this particular tutorial. So here we have numbers. Integer is the data type, that is int. If you don't mention int, it will give you an error. That means if you don't mention the data type, it will give you error. Okay, and since we want to add two numbers, so we'll just write system.out.println a plus b. That's it. Okay, and I'll click on compile. Now if you see class compile, no syntax error it's showing. Okay, but what if like I remove the integer and I only write b is equal to 30? Okay, so when I write b is equal to 30 and when I try to compile, see, it shows error found in class, undeclared variable. That means you have not declared a variable. Okay, so whenever you try to declare a variable in Java, you have to mention the data type. What is the data type of the variable? That is how you declare a variable in Java. Okay, so any kind of variable you want to declare, whether it's integer, whether it's float. So suppose I want to declare a float variable, so I have to write over here float for that. Okay, and I can like write it as 0.30. Okay, so that is how you declare a variable in Java. Fine, and then you can print it off. Okay, now we'll just check out the output first for this, and then we'll check out with the float as well. Okay, so here what do you think? The output should be 20 plus 30, which is 50, right? So again, click on compile, and then what do you have to do? Go to my first and then right click and then void main. So when I click on void main, now if you see, the output is 50, right? That's what we wanted. Okay, now next you can also change this to, suppose I change to float. I want to declare a float variable and I wrote it as 0.30 and I clicked on compile. Now if you see, it says there is error. Okay, so it says it's incompatible data type. Okay, that means in Java you cannot add a float variable along with an integer data type or an integer variable. Okay, so if I write this as suppose 0.20 and I make this as float, okay, and I try to compile it, okay, it says incompatible data type, you cannot like this. But if I just write it as, let's say, Okay, and when I try to compile it, it says no syntax error. Okay, that means here in Java, when you want to declare a variable which has a decimal value, then at that point of time you have to mention the data type as double, and then you have to mention the variable as whatever name you want, and then you can assign the value. Okay, and then if you compile it, it won't give you an error, and if you try to run it, it will give you the desired output. So the output is 0.5. Okay, so that's how you can work with various data types inside Java, and this is how you can create your class, and then inside your class you can start working with Java. Okay, now here again, if I show you, suppose I take a variable as let's say string. Okay, so this is the data type. These are data types. String is a data type. Now here I just want to display a name. Okay, let's say, so suppose I take string, and then inside the inverted commas I write coding made easy. Okay, and I close the inverted comma, and over here what we have to do, so in order to display that particular string you have to mention it inside the inverted comma, so I'll just write a. Okay, now compile it. So here if you see, it says, okay, so here it says it gave an error. Why? Because the string should be a capital S, not a small s. Okay, now click on compile. It says class compiled, no syntax error. That means there is no error in your code. Now you can quickly go ahead and check out the output. So the output should be coding made easy, right? So I click on it, and then this, and then go ahead. So here it says A. Okay, so now let's check it out over here. Okay, and then try to run it. Or you can, directly like write over your coding made easy. Okay, and then compile it off. The output is coding made easy directly. Okay, so that's how you can work with various data types like integer, double, float in Java, how you can create a class in Java. Okay, so it's quite easy. You can work with it once you start to understand the basics, and then you can go on to the advanced level. Okay, like you can work with the if and else condition as well and everything. All the things I'll be explaining it. Okay. So here in the same, if I just write string and then I write str is equal to, let's say, coding. Okay, I write just this. Okay, and inside this I'll just write, let's say, str. Okay, so now if I just compile it, okay, now if I compile it, there's no syntax error. Fine. So now let's rerun this off. Okay, now if you see, this is the output coding. Okay, so for string, whenever you are trying to, take a string variable, which I was not taking, so if you try to take a string variable at that point of time, make sure you write the variable as str. So str stands for string. So string str, and then whatever value you give it inside it, you can give it. Okay, and then you can print that off. So here in today's tutorial, we went for uh, So we understood what is class, how to create class in BlueJ because you're working with Java, and then once you have created a class, so how you can write the code inside the class. What is public static void main? Why it is necessary to write when you're starting with Java code? Okay, and what are like data types? How you can declare the data types in Java, and how you can print those with the help of system.out.println. Okay, so that was it for today, guys. Hope you liked it. If you did, please go ahead and hit the like button, share the video as much as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest videos on coding. So I'll be back with the next video on Java itself, and it would be related to the if and else condition, while loop, for loop, how to use those in Java, right? Thank you so much, guys, for watching once again, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.